Last episode it was heartbreak in the FA Cup as we got knocked out to Crystal Palace in the semi-final. But a last-minute winner against Manchester City in the Champions League and just 6 games left in the Premier League means Everton still have the chance to win Europe's 2 most prestigious trophies. But as ever, if you're enjoying the series so far, please feel free to like and subscribe, and let's get into today's episode. But we're going to be starting this episode off on a little bit of a negative note, as suddenly my new striker only joined this season, Moukoko, has gone to the press stating his unhappiness with apparent lack of game time. It's kind of confusing, to be honest, because as you can see, he did come knocking on my door saying that he was delighted by the run of games he's getting. Plus, with him supposedly being in excellent form in the last few games of the season and racking up 19 goals in 33 appearances this season, only 4 appearances shy of my usual starting striker, Brian Robbie. Yes, a lot of those appearances have come off the bench, but I have absolutely no understanding as to why he would be sending me mixed signals and why he would feel the need to undermine me and go straight to the press. Now, yes, of course, his contract does state that his squad role is that of a crucial player, and with him finding himself out of the starting 11 due to the other new striking signing in Robbie, I think the 21-year-old young German international just needs to have a little bit more patience. However, with clearly me lining up in this 4-3-3 more attacking formation, meaning that obviously I am only able to field just one central striker, do you think I need to consider changing up this entire formation to try and see if I can fit in both of them up front? Perhaps I need to look to return to this more width-orientated 4-4-2 diamond, or do I need to just put my foot down, show my authority to this squad and make it crystal clear to Moukoko that he needs to wait and be patient, as I am the manager and I call the shots as to who plays up front? Let me know down in the comments what you think. Speaking of new signings though, one that I really think has gone under the radar is the arrival of the young Italian Filippo Terracciano. Yes, he is only an 80 rating, but he has gone up by 2, and he has displaced this man Nathan Patterson in the starting position at right back. And whilst I don't necessarily think his stat and his average rating truly reflect the kind of performances that this man has been putting in this season, I think he has been an absolute revelation at right back since joining in the summer, and I think he has been a fundamental part as to why we have the best defensive record in the Premier League. Speaking of the Premier League though, with us still being 2 points behind Newcastle United, but having a game in hand on them, of course, who else is that game in hand going to be against, aside from our arch rivals, Liverpool? A Liverpool team this season struggling in the Premier League, just desperately fighting to see if they can get into that final Champions League spot as they sit 5th in the Premier League table. And perhaps for the first time in a long time heading to Anfield, Everton go into this game as the firm favourites to get the 3 points. And with that in mind, and with it being such a big game, it is a return to my usual starting 11 with just one change, and that is Zangante coming in at the back to partner Mark A, with Branthwaite unfortunately coming down with a little bit of fatigue as he drops to the bench. And here we go then. I'm sure Liverpool, of all the teams, will be absolutely desperate to put a dent in our Thai Sport aspirations this season in front of their home fans at Anfield. They can wish for no better platform to do that, but it's up to us today to try and be as professional as we possibly can and make sure that we get the 3 points on the board. It's Gertrude now for Liverpool into Rabiot, who's picked up a nice pocket of space in midfield, and he's managed to dance around Onana and go past Hato like he's not even there. Really good stuff from the experienced Frenchman, throws it in the box, and Luis Diaz at the back post almost got past the goalkeeper, but Jordan Pickford was on hand to block it, as does Mark Gay. It falls to Almada though. Liverpool putting on all the pressure here inside the opening 10 minutes, and Luis Diaz tries to strike again, but Jordan Pickford once again is equal to it. Liverpool now have it once again with Luis Diaz on the edge of the box here, finds Gertrude on the left hand side. Hato's had a bit of a shaky start here in the opening 15 minutes, but Jordan Pickford certainly hasn't comes to our rescue yet again. But it is that man Hato will pick it up again, and he goes short to Zangante, fires it right the way across to the right hand side to try and stretch the play out to Terracciano on the right hand side, who goes past the left back, tries to throw it back in, looking at the back post to Jota, couldn't quite get there ahead of the defender though. Onana knocks it down into the path of O'Reilly. Terracciano to try and throw it back yet again to the back post. Jota with the bicycle kick. Oh my word, he almost scored an extraordinary goal against our arch rivals. Look at this for a ball, absolutely wonderful, and Jota ended up ballooning it over the bar. That is a big opportunity and an unfortunate miss. Zangante to try and bring this one out of defence, finds it into Jota again. Much better now from us, trying to see if we can find a route into this game, as Brian Robbie almost found a route into the Liverpool penalty area, but he was blocked off there in the end by the defender, and now Liverpool can try and see if they can hit us on a counter-attack, as Evan Ferguson has it now. The former Brighton man gives it into Politano. Politano out to Luis Diaz. Lovely little one-touch into Politano. Beautiful build-up play from Liverpool here. It falls right into the path of that man Evan Ferguson, and he nods Liverpool into a 1-0 lead. Well, he celebrates here with the rest of the players, and we can have absolutely no complaints about that one. Liverpool just carved my defence open. It was beautiful one-touch pass in between Luis Diaz and Politano, and Luis Diaz thought he'd managed to get the goal. Jordan Pickford thought he managed to stop it, but in the end, it was just a frustrating one for us, as Evan Ferguson was in the right place at the right time. It fell to him, and he just nodded it into an empty net. Liverpool lead here at Anfield, 1-0. But we've got to keep calm here. We still have have a lot of time on the clock to find our way back into this game, but it is a game we must get 3 points from. But with passes like that, we are going to do ourselves no favours here whatsoever, as Liverpool now bring it back into our half. We've got to make sure that we keep our professionalism. We've got to try and be experienced and just make sure that we see out this half, at least with not conceding a second and not putting ourselves in a really tricky position starting the second half. Teresiano now floats it over to the left-hand side into the path of Hato. Hato short into Onana, and he's going to try and look for the overlap here, and he does find the overlap. Onana into the box. Can he cut it back? He does, into Brian Brobby, and Brian Brobby responds beautifully just on the stroke of half-time, and that is exactly what the doctor ordered here at Anfield. Well, he's clearly seen Moukoko complaining to the press about not starting enough games, and Brian Brobby has thought to himself, no, I need to stamp down my authority and stamp down my place in the starting 11, and what the perfect way to do it. Lovely finish against our arch rivals Liverpool. It's 1-1. Luis Diaz, though, has it again for Liverpool here with just moments remaining in the first half. Luis Diaz goes into the box again, and Evan Ferguson, my word, this is end to end. And just when I thought we got ourselves back in the game, Liverpool have once again struck back immediately. Our nerves starting to creep into our title aspirations this season. Luis Diaz again is the danger man, and once again he carves through my defence and lays it on a plate for Evan Ferguson to get his second of the game, to get Liverpool second. It's 2-1. Well, it's such a frustrating way to end that first half. I thought we'd done the hard work, getting ourselves back on level terms, but we've then gone and thrown it all away yet again. We must not throw away our title chances this season. We have to get ourselves back in this game, and we have to get ourselves 3 points, as Bakayoko now tries to go down the right-hand side. It was a poor pass, though, and well intercepted by the Liverpool defenders. Into Rabiot, Politano. Liverpool, of course, looking to try and see if they can put the final nail in this blue Everton coffin, as Gertruda now tries to go down the right-hand side, goes past Hatu, who's had a really tough game here today as it's thrown across, but Teresiano's in the right place, though, and knotted out for a Liverpool corner. Liverpool have a throw inside my half, and it's Endo on as a substitute, tried to play it through, but it was good interception in the end from O'Reilly. Now Bakayoko has an opportunity, but doesn't feel confident enough to try and go past the defenders. Instead plays it into the substitute Nathan Patterson down the right-hand side. And now the young man has the opportunity to play it into the box. He finds Brian Brobby. He finds his right and does not find the back of the net. He drags it wide, and that is a huge opportunity missed. Well, opportunities are not going to get much better than that one. Brian Brobby had the time to take a touch and to find his spot, but he did not find the right spot, dragged it wide. And that is a golden opportunity that's gone begging. Ian Matson with the throw. Finds Onana. Onana turns, twisting, and manages to find a ball into the Portuguese Jota. He's going to try and cut it back here. Gertruda, though, is in the right place at the right time and clears it for Liverpool. Rabiot now into the path of Gakpo, and Gakpo goes back into the Frenchman Rabiot. Liverpool starting to open up my midfield here. Gakpo out to Szoboszlai, also on as a substitute. He's being chased down by O'Reilly, but O'Reilly can't get near him. And now he cuts back inside. Lovely play into Parisi. Floats it into the back post, and Gakpo tried to get on the volley, but in the end put it into the side netting. Well, we've got about 20 minutes plus stoppage time remaining on the clock here to find a route back into this game. At this point, I've got to be honest, I will even take a draw. We just cannot afford to lose this game here. As Dele Alli on as a substitute into Nathan Patterson. Bakayoko through the middle. Oh, I tried to find Dele Alli. Canate, though, brilliantly read and brilliantly intercepted. Cesar Huerta now, another man on as a substitute, gives the ball away in a dangerous position to Szoboszlai now, and Liverpool have the chance to put this game to bed. It's Williams into Szoboszlai. Big save from Pickford. And it's going to be Luis Diaz to take the corner here. Only about 10 minutes remaining on the clock. We've got to find our way back into this game. It's floated into the box, headed away by Mark Gay, not headed very far, and in the end, it's looped up into the arms of Jordan Pickford. Ian Matson now looking for an opportunity to put the ball forward, but instead has to go all the way out to the right-hand side, and it's won by Merlin, and in the end, Liverpool now bring it away again, and now it's Williams with the pace to go past Mark Gay. On as a substitute, throws it into the box, and Gante with the head away, only out as far as Dele Alli. He knocked it down into another substitute, Moukoko, and Moukoko now is going to try and see if he can release Cesar Huerta. He's blocked off again by Canate, who has been an absolute wall at the back. Van der Berg comes across, plays it into Rabiot. Surely it's only a matter of minutes, moments for the referee to blow for the full-time whistle here. Szoboszlai has it. He does. It's game over. Well, look at the delight on Jurgen Klopp's face. He knows how important this result is, not just to their own Champions League hopes, but to dent our title aspirations in front of their own fans. He celebrates wildly in front of the Kop end as Liverpool beat Everton 2-1. And it's a 2-1 victory that ends our unbeaten run, and there can be no doubt that it is a huge disappointment. It's a massive opportunity missed, as we could have leapfrogged Newcastle, but now, with just 5 games remaining, have we handed the Premier League title to them? And with squad morale beginning to slip, it looks like Moukoku's actions to the press have had a knock-on effect to some of the other players in my squad, as after not starting against Liverpool, which in my defence was due to a bit of fatigue, Jarrad Branthwaite has come knocking on my door, demanding to leave the club as he feels feels that I'm damaging his career. I've got to be honest, I'm really struggling to understand the logic of some of these players. Jarrad Branthwaite has appeared 40 times across all competitions this season, and he has formed a formidable partnership at the back with this man Mark Gay. What more does the 23-year-old Englishman want? And with me only having a 75 rated Zangante as my only other centre-back on the bench, does this mean, with him being very unhappy with his position in the Everton team, that centre-back might be another position that I'm going to have to try and invest in once the summer transfer window opens at the end of the season? Speaking of squad morale though, we've got to make sure that we pick ourselves up and dust ourselves down as we're heading back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium here to face off against a Tottenham Hotspur team who also have title aspirations of their own. They sit just 3 points behind us in the Premier League, and it's up to us to make sure that we end their title hopes on their own turf here today. There are a couple of changes to my starting 11 from the game against Liverpool. That man Branthwaite, in spite of him being very unhappy, does come back in to play alongside Mark Gay at the back, and with Hatto putting in a pretty poor performance against Liverpool, Ian Matson comes in at left back, and of course with Dele Alli returning to play against his former club, I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to put him back in the starting 11 as well. Here we go then, from the disappointment of losing at Anfield to Liverpool, we have to go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and we absolutely must get 3 points here today, because if we don't, not only will we throw away our title ambitions, but we could well be dragged into the fight for the Champions League spots. Branthwaite has it though. Into Jota. Jota turning around and goes down the line into that man Ian Matson, desperate to try and show what he can do down the left-hand side. Ian Matson cuts back in though, looking for Brian Brobby. He does find Brian Brobby, who fires it straight at Vicario. Tried to bundle it in, but this time the Italian was equal to it. It's Kirkes for Spurs into Beto, the former Everton man, and of course he will be absolutely desperate not only to put in a good performance here today, but I'm sure try and put a dent in our title hopes. But it's this man Bakayoko who's looking to do the same thing against Spurs. He throws it into the box again, looking for Bakayoko, but it was an acrobatic clearance by the Spurs centre-back. And it's Kulusevski for Spurs into Pellegrini. Zubamendi now has it. Lovely ball into the channel, into Beto, showing some fabulous pace, but not showing enough guile to get away from Teresiano. Good defending from the Italian, and Bakayoko is absolutely taken out there by Kirkes. Teresiano though wins it back, and we play the advantage. He brings it in field. I'm going to look to try and play a ball into the channel, into Brobby. Lovely stuff, Brobby. Just couldn't dink it over Vicario. The Italian came out. He was equal to it for the second time in this game, and I already feel it's going to be a real ding-dong battle between Brian Brobby and Vicario all game. Beto has it yet again. He's blocked off though by Mark Gay. Good defending from the Englishman. Much better play from us so far here today. Much better than we played against Liverpool. As Onana brings it out into the feet of Ian Matson. He tries to go in field, but gives it away to Zubamendi. Just as I was saying, we were playing some good football. We go and give it away in a really cheap position. Zubamendi though into Beto. Beto out wide to the left-hand side to that man Kirkes. He tries to see if he can go past Teresiano. He doesn't manage to though. Does manage to keep it on, but Teresiano wins it again. I told you he's been an absolute revelation at the back, and here we go now. It's our opportunity to try and hit them on the counter. It's played into the channel, and Brian Brobby yet again has another opportunity. Is it going to be third time a charm here? Brian Brobby puts it wide. I do not believe it. Well, how many opportunities does one man need? He's had 3 huge chances, and he's not taken any of them, and perhaps Moukoko is right to be demanding his place in the starting 11 in place of him. Onana now has it though again into Dele Alli. Dele Alli's going to look to go into the path of Bakayoko. Tried to go past Romero, doesn't manage to though. Vicario's going to clear his lines for Spurs. Mark Gay tried to play it into the centre, but got the pass all wrong, and now Heung-min Son on the counter for Spurs. Tries to go past Branthwaite, does go past Branthwaite into Madison, and Madison fires Spurs into an unlikely 1-0 lead here. He celebrates with the rest of the players, and against the run of play, Tottenham had taken the lead here, and we can only be filled with frustration, and we can have absolutely no one to blame but ourselves. We've had the opportunities, we haven't taken them, and Madison, Tottenham's creative spark, gives them a 1-0 lead. Well, is our season unravelling before our eyes here? Threw away a potential victory at Anfield, and are we about to throw away a potential victory here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium right on the stroke of half-time? Well, we've got 45 minutes to rectify the problem here. We've got to get a heads up. We've got to show some form of character and spirit to try and fight our way back into this game. Bakayoko into Mark Gay. Mark Gay goes into the centre in O'Reilly. O'Reilly round the corner into Teresiano. Really nicely done. I'm going to try and see if I can fire it to the back post. Looking for Jota. Pedro Porro though wins it well and clears his lines for Spurs. The free kick here for Spurs inside their own half. Madison, of course, the goal scorer, picks it up in a nice pocket of space in midfield. Turns really nicely and finds Højbjerg, who drives forward and plays it out to the left-hand side into Brennan Johnson. He goes past Teresiano into the box. Madison, we cannot put a challenge in on him. Brennan Johnson has it again, and I do not believe it. He got a bit lucky with a deflection, and it deflected under the arms of Jordan Pickford, and Spurs have doubled their lead here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Everton Football Club are falling apart. We couldn't put a challenge in for risk of conceding a penalty, but Brennan Johnson struck. It came off the arm of Teresiano, I think it was. Let's check the replay out. He struck it Yes, it did. It came off the arm, went under Jordan Pickford. How unlucky can you get? Spurs lead 2-0. Branthwaite to try and bring it out of defence, finds Jota. Jota's going to try and go down the left-hand side into Ian Matson. We've got to try and see if we can find a route back into this game. Matson to throw it back in, looking for Moukoko on as a substitute. A wonderful volley, but Vicario has been an absolute wall at the back today. Again got his hand on it, and again Spurs breathe a sigh of relief here. Dele Alli, the former Spurs man now, is going to try and bring this one down the right-hand side. Really nicely done. He's going to try and throw it in, looking for Jota this time. It's headed away though by the Spaniard, out to Onana, who just puts that way wide. Højbjerg floats it over the top into the path of Beto. Of course, the Everton man will be desperate to try and score here today, as defensively I thought we'd won the ball back and we got it all wrong. And Lookman, another former Everton man, with a wonderful volley. And Jordan Pickford was equal to it though. My word, Spurs so close to getting a third goal in this game and well and truly putting it to bed. But now they've got another corner, and yet again it is going to be that man Lookman to play it into the box to Johnson. Spurs attacking, looking to end the game here. It's a strike from Højbjerg and a wonderful save from Pickford. O'Reilly, look at the pressure, look at the press from Spurs, but Lookman ends up losing it to Riley. Good play though by the central midfielder. He's done a really good job there. And Moukoko is clear here. Can Riley find the ball into him? He can, but Moukoko didn't take the best first touch and now ends up having to drift out wide to keep hold of it. Moukoko though goes down the line into Bakayoko. Bakayoko to try and play it onto his left. Bakayoko to take a strike. Looked for his name up in lights and in the end just ballooned it over the bar. A big wasted opportunity yet again. Lookman again. This time it's Branthwaite who puts the challenge in, and it's Cesar Huerta on as a substitute who turns round the right back Pedro Porro, and now he's going to try and streak down this left hand side. Cesar Huerta to throw it in into the back post, got the cross all wrong. Bakayoko just about managed to keep hold of it though. He's still got the ball and he's going to play it central into Onana. Onana into O'Reilly. O'Reilly back out to Teresiano. Teresiano going to try and cut it back into O'Reilly. He's got an opportunity to try and put it into the box, looking for Moukoko. Couldn't find him. Onana will win it back. It's down into Bakayoko, who's going to try and play it into Teresiano. He's now got the chance to try and bloat it into the box again. Dinks it in. Headed away. Spurs will do that all game, as they have done, as the referee decides now is the time to blow for full time. Well, the Spurs fans are in full voice. They know just how important that victory was, and my players know just how disappointing that loss was. It's two huge games. It's two back-to-back losses here in the Premier League. Full-time here it finishes Spurs 2, Everton 0. And does that crucial Brennan Johnson goal mean that our season is about to unravel before our very eyes? Spurs have now leapfrogged us in the Premier League, and just within a blink of an eye, we have dropped now down to 4th place, and we are looking over our shoulder to our arch-rivals Liverpool to even qualify for the Champions League with just 4 games remaining. I can't quite believe we have thrown this away after such a brilliant start to the season. You can see that the morale of the players is absolutely in the bin at the most pivotal time in our entire season. But after beating Manchester City 2-1 in the Champions League quarter-final, it is time to turn our attention away from our domestic troubles and into our European successes as we face off against Atletico Madrid in the first leg of the semi-final. And despite a late equaliser from Mason Mount for Atletico Madrid, a 2-2 draw away from home, I'm actually pretty comfortable with, and I think it puts us in a really decent position heading into the second leg at Goodison Park. And with us finally able to get back in the win column in the Premier League, beating West Brom at home 3-2. Not only are we just about keeping the fight going in the Premier League with just 3 games remaining, but we are also giving ourselves a little bit more hope that we can come into what is the biggest game of our season so far, this Champions League semi-final second leg at Goodison Park, with a little bit more momentum and a little bit more confidence that we can put in the biggest performance of our season so far and hopefully secure our place for the first time in Everton's history in the Champions League final. And the biggest game of the season of course means a return to my strongest starting 11 with one exception, and that is Moukoko. After demanding to play more games and after the shocking performances of Brian Brobby in the last couple of games, he gets the nod up front and he gets his opportunity to show why he deserves to be my number 1 striker. Well, the Evertonians are on the edge of their seats here. They know just how important this game is and how big this potentially could be in the history of Everton Football Club. And it's Mark Gay who has it now and plays it out wide to that man Hatter, who tries to go past the right midfielder. Doesn't have the gumption to do so though, so Mark Gay is going to float it over to the right hand side instead, and this time Teresiano nods it down, just about manages to keep it in play, but doesn't manage to give the ball to his Everton teammate, and instead Garcia now can try and bring it away from Matt O'Reilly, but showing that Champions League experience, being in the right place at the right time. Now Damsgaard feeds it into that man O'Reilly, Then he goes and loses the ball to the former Manchester City man Nathan Ake. But both teams starting off a little bit nervy here, giving the ball away in dangerous positions. And that is pretty much symptomatic of exactly what I was saying as Hato goes and gives it away to Molina. Molina will take the throw, and he does take it into the former Arsenal man, Gabby Jesus, but he's blocked off by Onana here as Jota, deep inside his own half now, is trying to wriggle away from the press of two Atletico Madrid players. And he's done a brilliant job of doing so. Mark Gay all the way out to Teresiano on the right-hand side. He's going to try and see if he can go into Matt O'Reilly, but it's a good interception by Miranda. And now Casemiro, the ex-Manchester United man, brings it forward. Lovely pass over from Rodrigo de Paul into Miranda. Mark Gay, though, strong at the back, wins it back well. And again, end-to-end stuff here. Neither team is really able to put forward any sort of quality so far, but hopefully we're going to try and see if we can put an end to that as O'Reilly bursts into the box. O'Reilly continues his run and he just puts it wide. Well, I feel like this has been the story of this episode so far. We've been creating opportunities, there can be no doubt about that, but we just have not found our shooting boots. And frustratingly, it's another huge chance that's gone begging. Atletico Madrid have it again, though, this time with Gabby Jesus, and he lovely little flick into the path of the ex-Manchester United man, Casemiro. Out to the left-hand side to an unmarked Miranda, dinks it back in, looking for the Atletico Madrid midfield, but instead it's Matt O'Reilly, yet again, who's had a great game so far, who wins it back, but just as quickly as we win it back, we lose it back. And now Gabby Jesus strikes straight at Pickford, good save. It's going to be the first corner of the game here, and it's one that's going to fall to Atletico Madrid. They float it in, it's a good ball, but it's Hato who heads it clear. Only out as far as Jesus, though, who will pick up the scraps and try and see if he can throw it back into the box. O'Reilly blocks again, it's going to be another corner. And once again, it's going to be De Paul who's going to take. He throws it back in, this time it's Jota with the head. So Atletico Madrid are starting to turn the heat up here at Goodison Park. Jesus dances round my defenders and he puts it off the bar. Perhaps Pickford got a hand to it, I'm not quite sure, but Hato hacks it away and we can breathe a sigh of relief there. Into De Paul. Atletico Madrid, right on the stroke of half-time, are in the ascendancy here. They're going to try and see if they can break the deadlock as Gabby Jesus dances his way around my defence again. This time into the striker, tried to play it into Moreno, but Teresiano read it well. It was just played behind him. Bakayoko tried to release the ball forward, but in the end the referee had other ideas as he blows for half-time. Well, it must be said, there's not exactly been a great deal of quality so far in this game. Both of these teams at such a pivotal moment in this competition, really showing a bit of nerves here, but I think it's just going to be which team doesn't make a mistake. That is going to be the one that tries to go forward, or a piece of magic here. Hato tries to put together his own piece of magic here, but in the end gives the ball away. Jesus now into De Paul. De Paul round the corner into Molina, who's managed to stay on side and goes back into the box. Jordan Pickford with a big save. And it's going to be Garcia who's going to take this corner. Atletico Madrid, the only team who have had corners so far in this game. Headed down though into Gabby Jesus. He goes out to Konza, a former Aston Villa player, dancing around my defence. Teresiano though, big and strong. Brilliant defending. Damsgaard now to release Jota. Can we try and hit them on the counter-attack? It's Mukoku now, doesn't have any options up ahead of him, so has to go out to the right-hand side. Tries to play it into Bakayoko, tried to go in field. Didn't show the composure that I needed him to at a pivotal moment in the counter-attack, and in the end gave the ball away, and now Atletico Madrid can try and strike back themselves. Molina on the right-hand side, being chased down by Hato, floated into the back post. Yet again, Teresiano in the right place at the right time, nods it out into Miranda on the left-hand side. Bakayoko comes across, the referee plays advantage. Atletico Madrid still have it, but it goes out for another corner. De Paul is going to take a free kick here, and he's going to float it into the box, but Jordan Pickford, exactly what I would want from England's number one, comes out, makes himself big, and takes the ball brilliantly, and now he releases Jota, who releases Hato, who finds the substitute Brian Brobby. I was just trying to find it around the corner into Bakayoko, but the Atletico Madrid players just got there in the nick of time as Mark Gay comes across and absolutely takes out with a rugby challenge the Atletico Madrid midfield. It's Teresiano now on the right hand side, just over 15 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this game, and he plays it down the line looking for the run of Bakayoko. Bakayoko can't beat the former Manchester City man in Nathan Ake. Now it's Miranda again, goes central into Garcia. Atletico Madrid going to try and see if they can play this one beautifully out of defence. It's a lovely ball over the top, but Teresiano is equal to it yet again. He's just been absolutely fabulous since joining. O'Reilly now down the line. This is end-to-end stuff here. It is either teams to win as Bakayoko shifts it onto his left, goes to line up a strike. He saw his name up in lights and ballooned it over the bar yet again. It's another opportunity missed. Nathan Ake now twisting, turning, lovely stuff to bring it down the left-hand side and then go central into Casemiro. About 5 minutes remaining on the clock here for one of these two teams to desperately see if they can find a winner here. And at the moment, with Atletico Madrid inside my half, it looks like it is going to be the Spanish team as Konza, sorry, I think it was Correa who tried to strike. Mark Gay put the challenge in. Brilliant defending from the Englishman. Pickford took it out of the air, and in the end we again breathe a sigh of relief. As you can see, the fans look on. Nathan Ake walks off. That was the last chance of the game, and it means that here at Goodison Park we are heading into extra time in the Champions League. We've got 30 minutes on the clock for one of these two teams to find the breakthrough. If not, we go to the dreaded lottery of the penalties. Molina now has it down the right-hand flank, floated into the box. Teresiano with a big head away into Damsgaard, who finds his way into Brian Brobby on as a substitute. He's going to try and find a ball into Bakayoko, takes it down really nicely, and Bakayoko is looking for options, finds an option on the left-hand side, and he gets a bit fortunate with the ball going all the way out to Hato. Hato plays it back into Jota. The attack has just fizzled out a little bit, but we have managed to keep it alive with O'Reilly. Into the box, turns, looks for Damsgaard. It's blocked off. What a huge chance that was. Jota keeps it alive though. Out to Garner. Garner is going to try and put this one all the way over to the right-hand side to Teresiano. Matt O'Reilly. The momentum has got a little bit, but we have kept it alive. It's Hato now to drive into the box. Once again looks for the cut back into Jota, and once again it's blocked off. We are into the dying seconds here of stoppage time of the first half of extra time. It's floated in. Mark Gay with the head. Blocked off by Konza. Hacked clear. I mean, this is an absolutely sensational Champions League semi-final second leg. The Goodison Park fans have got what they've paid for here today, but are they going to be able to see their team clinch the winner here and clinch their place in the Champions League final? Well, let's find out. Nathan Ake now to try and bring it out of defence. He's blocked off though by Bakayoko. Damsgaard tried to play it back round him, and Damsgaard eventually does manage to win the ball again, and he's going to try and drive into the box, but Nathan Ake has the pace. Oh, that wasn't the pass. I was trying to play the ball through into Brian Brobby, and I just didn't get it right. Bakayoko does keep it alive though, into Dele Alli on as a substitute, goes all the way out to the left-hand side. These aren't the passes that I'm looking to play. Matson though, back into the centre to Garner. He goes to Bakayoko, looks around the corner, tries to play in Nathan Patterson, but in the end doesn't manage to reach him. It's cleared away, only as far as Dele Alli, who knocks it down, but Griezmann on as a substitute for Madrid manages to win the ball back. Dele Alli though wins it again, into Jota, into Damsgaard. He turns on his right. Can I find a ball? Just that last pass in the final third has been lacking from both teams here today. As the referee says, enough is enough. Nothing could separate the two teams over 180 minutes. And now it means that in the second leg of the Champions League semi-final here at Goodison Park, Everton, Atletico Madrid is going to be settled by a penalty shootout. And this is going to be an absolute lottery. Dele Alli to step up first here. I'm going to go to the left. He does go to the left. Sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, and now we have a 1-0 lead. Griezmann to step up. Jordan Pickford dived the wrong way, but there was just too much power and accuracy on the shot. Brilliant penalty from the Frenchman, and now Brian Brobby's going to try and take it, but the goalkeeper saves, and now we are in serious trouble. Mason Mount to step up, sends Pickford the wrong way, and Atletico Madrid are in the ascendancy. It's 2-1. Garner's going to go down the middle, gets us back on track. 2-2, but now Gabby Jesus, the former Arsenal man, to step up. Jordan Pickford doesn't dive the right way, straight down the middle, and the pressure is back on us here. Jota, the Portuguese, to step up. It's saved again, and this is the penalty. This is the moment. Correa for Madrid. It's Jordan Pickford for Everton. Correa to step up. Pickford doesn't save, and Atletico Madrid are through to the Champions League final. They celebrate with Simeone. I cannot believe what I've just witnessed. We gave it absolutely everything over 180 minutes and in the penalty shootout, but when push came to shove, we just could not hold our nerve, and it was not meant to be. Jordan Pickford stood his ground, dove the right way, but just didn't dive high enough. Correa with a fabulous penalty and a brilliant way to put Atletico Madrid in to the Champions League final. It's heartbreak for Everton, it's heartbreak for Liverpool as an entire city, as they too are out as they lost to PSG on aggregate, meaning that it will be a PSG Atletico Madrid final. And with just 3 games remaining in the Premier League and a 5-point gap to Newcastle at the top of the table, despite a 3-1 away victory against Leeds United, a 3-1 away victory against Nottingham Forest, and a 1-1 draw against Aston Villa in our final game of the season at Goodison Park, 7 points from our last 3 games is still not enough for us to win the Premier League title. In fact, it's only enough for us to finish in 4th place behind Tottenham, Arsenal and eventual champions Newcastle United, just 1 point separating the Premier League top 4. Unbelievable. I've got to be honest, I think it was the loss against Liverpool at the start of the episode that was the real kick in the teeth for this Everton team, and it just sent us on a downward spiral that saw us crash out of the FA Cup and crash out of the Champions League, both at the semi-final stage. Everton Football Club are still yet to get get their first taste of silverware in this career mode. But with the board happy that we've achieved all the objectives they set us at the beginning of the season of qualifying for the Champions League, reaching the semi-final of the FA Cup and the quarter-final of the Champions League, I think we've got one more season left in this Everton team to try and see if we can bring them to the very top. Of course, with a big summer ahead of us means that we're going to hopefully bring in some much needed depth and much needed improvement to this team. So let me know down in the comments below who you want to see in an Everton shirt at the beginning of Season 4 as we bring an end to what has been a roller coaster ride of a Season 3. Thank you everyone for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again next time.